Let's move on, though, into our top 5. Brandon, give it to me. What's your top 5 for our last big board, the 4.0?
Well, Ricky, to start it off at number 5, Josh Allen, quarterback from Wyoming.
You like saying cornerback.
Quarter. It's hard to sometimes tell the difference. At 4, you like just not saying Jackson.
Yeah.
At 4,
good thing there's no Jacksons in this top 5.
At 4, Minkah Fitzpatrick, defensive back, a versatile safety, cornerback, wherever you want to put him on the field, from Alabama. At number 3, Bradley Chubb, defensive end, NC State.
Bradley Chubb.
At number 2, Quentin Nelson, offensive guard, Notre Dame. And at number 1, has not moved, Saquon Barkley, running back, Penn State.
Yeah, and spoiler alert, Saquon's not moving on mine either. Looking at my number 5, Quentin Nelson, the god from Notre Dame. Then number 4, Roquan Smith, the linebacker from the Georgia Bulldogs. Number 3, Josh Allen, quarterback from the Wyoming Cowboys. Number 2, Bradley Chubb, the pass rusher defensive end from NC State in the Wolfpack. And then Saquon Barkley, the running back from Penn State.
Why did you say it like that? The Wolfpack? The Wolfpack?
Well, because I did so.
Oh, you did that. I thought you just put up a finger.
No. I did this.
I literally thought you just put up a finger. And I was like, what?
No.
Why are
what
you
this
doing
is back in the day, I did it as a wrestling reference. Reference. So,
sounding out.
Back in when the NWO was a thing, they called themselves, part of them was I think it was the red lettering. They were the Wolf Pack, and they would use this as their, they would do wolf and they would make it look like a wolf, and it would be the Wolf Pack.
Gotcha.
So that's what I was doing. The
history. Thank you. You learn something new every day.
Wolf Pack. But first guy I want to mention in this top 5, he's at number 2 on your list. He's at number 5 on my list. He has finally cracked the top 5, and for me, he is the best offensive lineman in this draft. What are your thoughts about Quentin Nelson as we get into the final stretch before the NFL draft?
So this is one thing I want to point out, that scouts have said to pencil him in as a 10-year Pro Bowl player who will be in the Hall. Now,
take him at number 1.
That's crazy. Now, that's crazy to say that before he has ever stepped out into
Eric Fisher,
an
take
NFL
him number 1.
game. That's what some scouts have said about Quentin Nelson. So,
Eric Fisher, pencil him in, number 1.
Quentin Nelson, what I think, best offensive lineman in this class. He's the cleanest player in terms of he's just sharp. He is very polished, and some have him regarded as being better than his former teammate Zach Martin. And Zach Martin, very, very good for, was it the Cowboys?
Yep, Dallas Cowboys.
I mean, part of that great offensive line that the Cowboys have, that speaks volumes. To be better than Zach Martin, who, huge player. I mean, difference maker. When they had DeMarco Murray, what was it, 2-3 years ago now, and that offensive line, he ran wherever he wanted, over whoever he wanted, and had the stats that he wanted. Quentin Nelson will do that and can be that for an offensive line. And that's why I think, I'm just going to throw it out there, I think the New York Giants need to take Quentin Nelson at number 2.
Now, the Giants, to me, are the team that, and this is getting into Quentin Nelson territory, they should probably go with Quentin Nelson. They should probably go with Saquon. But I'm in the mindset of a team likes a guy. If a team comes out, I know they haven't, but if news comes out that a team likes a quarterback, odds are they're taking that quarterback. Odds are in the top 2, they're taking that quarterback. And for me, the big thing with Quentin Nelson is the question for me when it comes to him is he going to be a Denver Bronco? And the reason why I say that is because I'm assuming quarterback. I'm assuming the Browns go quarterback, the Giants go quarterback, the Jets go quarterback. The Browns then with their next pick could go Quentin Nelson, could help that quarterback, but will probably go defense. Then it comes down to the Broncos. Do you take a Josh Rosen? Do you take a Baker Mayfield, depending on where you sit and who you got the Jets taking? Or do you take both of them because you got Lamar Jackson going to the New York Jets and you're one of those people? But the thing is, Quentin Nelson's probably going to be available at 5. Do you go with the quarterback, John Elway? Or do you double down on what both you and your head coach have said, definitely Vance Joseph, and that Case Keenum's your guy. Case Keenum's the guy. And you protect him. That's the thing for Quentin Nelson, where I don't think he's going to go number 1, don't think he's going to go number 2, but he could go 5, he could go 4, he could go 6. And whatever team gets him, Browns, Broncos, Colts, or if a team trades up for him, whatever team gets him is going to have a stable presence on the inside of that offensive line. And it's going to be huge for whatever team he goes to. Now, another question in this top 5 is the guy that you said you wanted to talk about. The lone quarterback in our top 5. You have him at 5. I have him at 3. I think personally he's going to be the number 1 pick overall because the Browns have said to like him. Josh Allen. What are you thinking about Josh Allen? Last time we're going to be able to talk about him on a big board.
So I have him at 5, like you mentioned. And they say there's no bigger boom or bust pick
they.
in the draft.
They say. It's all about they. They are always saying. You know what I'm saying there, Brandon?
That's what the experts say
that he's
around the
bust.
league that have more time than we do to go in and look at every single thing and every piece of material that's out there to look at Josh Allen, and they say no bigger boom or bust pick in the draft. Well, you know what? I will take that risk. I don't care. I'm going Josh Allen as the number 1 quarterback taken in this draft because of that. You have to sometimes. I'll use the stupid phrase of you've got to risk it to get the biscuit. And there's got to be a team, and I'll let you go in a minute here.
Because I got a question for you specifically.
He's been phenomenal in the draft process. His arm is absolutely outstanding. Coaching can help the small hitches in his game. I think that you put him on a team, and now if Cleveland took him, Cleveland right now would be so stupid, I think, in my mind, to take him as number 1, but maybe not, because if they don't take Saquon Barkley, people can now say, well, they've got Carlos Hyde. They've got Carlos Hyde. They're fine. I still take Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley is better than Carlos Hyde. Let's be honest. But if you were able to take Josh Allen, come back and take Saquon Barkley at what are they? 4?
4.
1 and 4.
You're talking about the Browns?
And
4.
Get that? Josh Allen is not on a bad team if he goes to the Cleveland Browns. That would not be the case.
Here's my only problem with that, and it's my only problem because I've thought about this coming up with mock drafts. If you're the Browns and you don't take Josh Allen number 1, he will not be there by the time you get to 4 because the Jets will snap. By the time the Browns make that Saquon Barkley pick, the Jets will already have their pick for Josh Allen on the table. They will already have their guy running it up there.
Okay, can I ask a question then?
Go ahead.
Did the Cleveland Browns simply trade for Tyrod Taylor to get their backup quarterback? Or do they believe that Tyrod Taylor can be their starting quarterback? Well, and I'm very serious about that. I'm very serious. I know
for a year, yes.
I get that.
For a year, yes.
This is a draft class where if you're skipping out on a quarterback altogether, now maybe I'm still in the boat that you don't have to go a quarterback number 1 here, Cleveland. You don't have to do it, and you get the better playmaker if you go with Barkley at number 1. How important is making sure you get your quarterback? Do you worry that...
Very important.
Well, I get it. That was maybe silly to say it, but they haven't gotten their quarterback in a long time.
Well,
it's time to get a guy who's going to make plays for you. Saquon Barkley undoubtedly will.
The reason why I am saying... So I'm saying when it comes to Josh Allen, he should be the number 1 overall pick. And I'm not saying that because, he's like when it was Jameis Winston or when it's Matthew Stafford or, he is the if de facto. I am saying it because of the team that's there. If you like a guy, so if the Browns really do what they say, like Josh Allen, with the news that's coming out, take him at number 1 because there's no guarantee he's going to be there. What if a team trades with New York to get him at number 2? What if because the Jets are a team, whether or not the Giants trade, he ain't getting to 4 anyways in my mind, because the Jets are thinking about inviting him back for another workout. They're getting a second look at him. Usually if you're getting a second look at a guy, you're pretty sure that he's your guy. You just need a little bit, you're just fine-tuning that decision, just making sure that you're really not making the wrong choice. Because let's be honest, Saquon could still be there at 4. Could still be there at 4. And then you get the question of, do you take Saquon or do you not? I'm going to pose this question on you. Mark and I might talk about it this week, or it might get bounced because of the Patriot news. Both you and I have Saquon at number 1. I want to ask you this, though. Number 1 talent on the big board. Odds to you, give me a percentage in your thoughts of what you would think if this happened. Odds are Saquon falls out of the top 5.
0% chance.
So you think he's going to the Browns? Both, either way, either 1 or 4.
0% chance that he falls out of the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
Every team in the top 5, if not one of those teams took Saquon Barkley, they are stupid. They are dumb. If they don't take Saquon Barkley with their pick, if not one of those top 5 takes him, because every single one of those top 5 could use him.
I mean, except for me, the Broncos could, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, they got C.J. Anderson, but C.J. Anderson's not
dang. They don't even know if
Barkley.
they're going to keep C.J. Anderson.
True. I mean, the Jets definitely need him. The Giants definitely need him. And then
the Giants would be fine if Saquon Barkley became their quarterback. I mean, you score with the ball in your hands, right? Okay, we're giving it to you.
Well, and that's why for me, I'm starting to see maybe 50-60% that Saquon falls out of the top 5.
No, you are goofy.
And the reason,
no way.
No. The reason why I'm saying that is 1 and 2 are clear to me. And this is all because of what I said. If news came out, Browns like Allen. All right, Browns are going to go with Josh Allen. News comes out, Giants love Darnold. Why would you pass on your guy if you love him? Take Darnold. So I think Allen, Darnold, 1, 2. Then at 3, the Jets, they need a quarterback. Josh McCown's not the future. Teddy Bridge over troubled waters is not the future. I love Teddy Two Gloves. I'm mad that he's not in Minnesota anymore. He's not the future.
How mad are you?
He's not the future.
How mad are you?
I would have liked to still have Teddy on the team. I mean, I still would have liked Kirk Cousins.
As what, an ambassador?
Yeah, as the backup. I would have loved to have Teddy as the backup. I mean, the thing is, I think quarterback go 1, 2, 3. Then the Browns, they could take him again.
Who's going to be the third quarterback?
Josh Allen. No, Josh Allen, Sam Darnold, and then probably Baker Mayfield if I was picking, because I like Baker more than
And
Josh Rosen.
Who's 3 again?
Baker Mayfield.
No,
the Jets.
The team.
The Jets.
Jets are 3.
But then the Browns, they'll probably go defense, either Minka or Ward.
Why would they do that?
They could go.
Okay, yes.
Could go Barkley again.
Again, maybe a silly question. I know they need the defense, but again, look at what you're building offensively. If you have your quarterback at number 1 and you go Allen, you get Allen. You get your guy. You have Landry, wide receiver. You've got Coleman, wide receiver. You've got Gordon, wide receiver. You have Carlos Hyde at running back. You take Saquon Barkley, and you don't do committee, but you have Barkley. You could line him up as a wide receiver if you wanted to put Carlos Hyde back there as the running back. You're building something real good there, Cleveland, offensively.
I'm throwing this out at you. You are now the GM of the Cleveland Browns.
Good. I'm getting paid a lot of money. I'm going to make the right decision. Go Barkley 1.
This is a Saquon question for you. If you were the Browns, what would you rather have? I can give you 2 options. The first option is you get Josh Allen at 1, you get Saquon at 2. The second option is you get Josh Allen at 1, your pick of Ward or Minka, which one would you take? Minka or Denzel Ward? Minka. And then with either your number 1 pick in the second round or your 3rd overall pick in the second round, you can get a Darius Geis. So what would you pick? Would you take Saquon and Josh Allen, or Josh Allen, Minka Fitzpatrick, and Darius Geis? If I'm guaranteeing you can have any of those 2 choices, and you get whatever choice you take, you automatically get those players. Don't have to worry about anyone taking them. ahead of when you do.
What was the first one again?
The first one was you get Josh Allen at 1, you get Saquon at 2. The second one is you get Josh Allen at 1, you get Minka at 4, and you get a Darius Geis either with your 33rd or 35th overall pick in the second round.
I'm going with the first one.
Really?
I'm going with the first one.
See, I would go with the second one because the thing is with the Browns, they have so many picks. Those running backs that we were talking about, they can get one of those guys. And I know that they're not Saquon Barkley.
About how those running backs, yet good, are not at the
they
same
have Carlos Hyde.
playmaking. I know, but Carlos Hyde again is a guy who has had some injuries in the past. Carlos Hyde, I would quickly throw away if I had Saquon Barkley.
If you
Does
had
anyone
Saquon
want Carlos Hyde now? I just got Barkley. That's what I would do. That's what I would do, and I'll tell you what. I would still not be afraid to go with Saquon Barkley at 1 because guess what? If I miss out on Allen at 2 or maybe Darnold at 3, I'm going with Baker Mayfield, and then we'd be having some fun. He'd be throwing that puppy all over the field.
Really,
I'm okay with it.
So really, you're going and that's a good point. So you would go Barkley. I almost said Baker. Barkley at 1. Just because I'm getting one of the top 5 quarterbacks at 4.
Yeah.
I get my pick between the 2 leftovers, probably Baker and Rosen.
Yeah, leftovers, but they're not bad leftovers, and it's not because you're going to be so scrutinized. If you're the Cleveland Browns, you're going to be so scrutinized. If you go with that quarterback at number 1 and they don't happen to pan out within the first 2 minutes, if he doesn't throw a touchdown to like Roger Goodell on stage as he's being introduced, he's not going to win in Cleveland.
Or you shock the world and take Lamar Jackson at 4.
But my whole thing is that if you bring Saquon, and we could all be, the world could be wrong, and Saquon could be a bust. He could be a bigger bust than Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah.
But I don't see it happening. I think Saquon Barkley is going to be everything that he's been advertised to be. And then if you do that, no one in Cleveland is going to go, you screwed us on a number 1 pick yet again. No, you win on your number 1 pick, and you win the fans of Cleveland because they love you because they can wear Saquon Barkley's jersey at all the games as you win 6, and you are outstanding. It's like you've won the suit. We won 6 games! And then you do not lose when you get a leftover at 4 who could be Baker Mayfield, who's going to whoop ass on the field anyways. Who cares that he's not 4 inches taller? He's going to fight, and he's going to scrap, and he's going to play like he's 4 inches taller. And then you have won the Cleveland City over. They don't even know who LeBron James is anymore. They've forgotten about him.
Well, he's going to be.
They don't
he's
care.
not going to be here after the season.
And it doesn't matter. And I have just turned the Browns around.
So,
put me in as GM. I am right.
Before we close up shop here, I got 2 questions for you. Kind of off-topic questions that I want to get your take on. Number 1, this is just off the top of my head. I don't know if there's any worthiness to this. Sean told me about this as our Patriot insider here at MVP. He said that he heard something about the Patriots getting the 23rd pick to use maybe their, not to use it, but that they got a call saying that they're really interested in Josh Rosen. Off the cuff question. Do you see the Patriots taking the 23rd and the 31st to move up to take Josh Rosen? So they would take the 23rd and the 31st, trade those picks to somebody higher in the draft to take a Josh Rosen like in the middle of the first.
The Patriots
to Tom Brady.
After trading to get Brandon Cooks, what was it, just a year ago? They had him for 1 season. They just traded him away. I could see the Patriots doing anything. Because why? It's the Patriots.
True.
They just do things what seems to us to be on a whim, but yet there's just this mastermind smarts that they have with Belichick and Brady and Kraft, mainly Belichick, and it all seems to work out. It always works out.
Second off the cuff question I've got for you, and I'm pulling the NBA draft into this. What would your thoughts be is if NFL draft happens Baker Mayfield ends up in a New York Jet jersey. We get to the NBA draft. Trae Young, another Oklahoma kid, ends up in a New York Knicks jersey. The two most polarizing, I would say polarizing just because of with Baker Mayfield, it's the chip on his shoulder, it's the I'm going to fight, it's the people comparing him to Johnny Manziel, and then Trae Young polarizing on the NBA side that both of those guys from Oklahoma go to New York teams and get to play in New York.
Well, I think that would be pretty exciting. I think it would give the city of New York some excitement. And again, it's not necessarily
not that they don't have
necessarily
enough life, it never sleeps.
Mean that that's Vegas, but not
is it? I thought that was New York.
Well, Vegas literally never sleeps. You never know what time it is when you're inside the casino. So, anywho, but it's that would be cool. I think that would be cool because it would bring a new kind of rejuvenated life. And again, I know that to really keep that going, they'd have to win and perform. I don't think that would probably be a problem for either one of them because we look at Baker Mayfield, he did a whole lot of really good things in college. Trae Young, he's done a whole lot of really good things in college. I think people would more so look at Trae Young and be like, okay, how's he going to pan out because of the fact that it was all him. And he took all these shots. He was, he'd go 3 of 15 from 3. He'd go, 1 of 10 from 3. But it would be, and I know we're kind of getting to NBA here, but
we're going to get into it next week.
He's not going to be asked and called upon to be doing that type of stuff. He's not going to be the only good player on his team.
I just think
that would be very cool.
I just think it'd be awesome to have both the Oklahoma polarizing players in New York. And also, I am right. Google says the city that never sleeps is a well-known nickname for New York City, famously employed in the theme from New York, New York, covered by Frank Sinatra. It's the city that never sleeps.
I'll be honest with you, it doesn't really make as much sense, though, because Vegas, literally, they're not sleeping because someone's up all the time. Not that they aren't in New York, but just saying.
This is where you guys come in, though. Let us know what you guys think down below in the comment section. What do you think of our big board 1 through 5 and then 1 through 25? Also, a little housekeeping here at the end. Patreon.com/Most Valuable Podcast. That's where you go to help support us. Patreon exclusive podcast. You can join us. Matthew actually just emailed me during this podcast. We're going to set him up. He's going to be on the Primetime Podcast again this month. Excellent. You could be like him. Check out patreon.com/Most Valuable Podcast. The shirt, the store for the MVP shirt down below in the description. mostvaluablepodcast.com is where we put everything for MVP each and every day. And then last but not least, you're on Apple Podcasts or iTunes. Go ahead and give the Primetime Podcast a 5-star rating. Want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. And as always, have a good day, everybody.